Welcome to The Awakened Heart, a podcast for healing women, a space where your voice matters, your body is sacred, and your journey home to yourself is honored no matter how winding the road. I'm Autumn Moran, therapist, coach, life coach. I'm not a sports coach, yoga instructor, and your companion on this divine, sacred path we call healing. Today's episode is a continuation of last week's people-pleasing theme. This is for the ones who feel heavy with obligations yet keep smiling. For the ones who ask or wonder, why is it so hard for me to simply say no? Or why did I say yes again? If you've ever felt like your worth is tied to what you do for others, or like rest is only earned through exhaustion, performance, activities, this conversation is for you. Last week, we talked about people pleasing, what it really is, how it's more than being nice, how it can look like over apologizing, saying yes when your soul is screaming no, or keeping the peace at the cost of your own truth. We explored how people pleasing is not kindness. Kindness is a choice rooted in love and authenticity. People pleasing is a compulsion rooted in fear, a survival strategy to stay safe, liked, or accepted. Today, I want to go deeper into why people pleasing forms as a trauma response and how it lives in our body and our nervous system. Because people pleasing isn't just about what you do, it's about what your nervous system has learned it must do to stay safe. So why do we people please? Honestly, because at some point, it kept us safe. It's not a random personality trait. It is a nervous system strategy developed to maintain connection, belonging, our physical or emotional safety in environments where direct assertion or authentic expression felt dangerous. So in trauma theory, we often talk about the four primary responses: fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Fight, you confront, you argue, you push back. Flight, you escape, you avoid, you leave, you disengage, you withdraw. Freeze, you shut down, you dissociate, you go numb, you become immobile or just silent. And then we have fawning, people pleasing, appeasing, merging with the needs of others to reduce threat, becoming agreeable, compliant, and invisible to avoid harm. People pleasing is fawning. It is your nervous system's way of saying, if I can keep them happy, calm, or comfortable, then I will be safe. So just to recap on what fawning might look like, I know I've talked through a few episodes about the trauma responses, but it's worth highlighting what fawning can look like. Laughing at jokes that hurt you or make you feel uncomfortable. Smiling and nodding when criticized. Agreeing to tasks that deplete you because you fear saying no. You fear the consequences. You fear the backlash. You fear their disappointment. It could be merging with others' opinions to avoid being seen as difficult, going along with the crowd, not to ruffle any feathers, anything like that, not to be excommunicated from the group, and keeping yourself small and agreeable to reduce attention or scrutiny. If I don't say anything, if I don't do anything, nobody will bother me. Nobody will ask too much of me. How does it develop? Typically, we start with childhood, right? Caregivers, childhood experiences. But I want to first talk about how people-pleasing can develop outside of childhood and then dive into the childhood roots of this trauma response. Because people-pleasing can emerge or intensify later in life due to many things. Abusive or coercive relationships. For example, emotionally or physically abusive partnerships can condition fawning behaviors as a survival strategy to avoid harm. You can experience or you can develop fawning during workplace trauma or toxic cultures. High pressure environments with micromanagers, harassment, or psychological safety violations can trigger people pleasing to maintain employment and avoid retaliation. Marginalization and discrimination, experiences of racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, ableism, that can all teach people to people please as a way to stay safe in oppressive environments. Sudden life transitions or destabling events can contribute to a fawning response. Periods of financial dependence, illness, or grief may lead people to become hyper-compliant, so they can keep relationships stable while being vulnerable. And then we have neurodivergence, unmasking and diagnosis. Later in life, realizations of autism or ADHD can reveal lifelong masking patterns or can create new pressures to mask or people please in unfamiliar environments post-diagnosis. It happens. We go through things, whether it's in childhood or adulthood or young adulthood, that creates this trauma response that we were like, hey, we're not safe. We need to go small. We need to fix this. We need to help them. We need to make sure they're better so that we're not hurt. Because people pleasing is a nervous system strategy to maintain safety, belonging, or stability wherever there is real or perceived threat. Real and or perceived threat. And threat can emerge at any life stage. So for the childhood roots of fawning, emotional neglect, growing up with parents or caregivers who ignored your emotional needs, who taught you that your feelings weren't important, or who only paid attention when you were useful, helpful, or compliant. Your big emotions got you moved away from them, got you in your room, got you outside, got you silenced, not heard, understood, supported. Maybe your caregivers were unpredictable, living with caregivers whose moods were volatile, where you learned to read the room intensely, where you learned to manage their emotions or appease them to avoid punishment, yelling, or emotional withdrawal. If you experience punishment or rejection for being authentic, if you asserted your needs, had strong opinions, or expressed big feelings and were punished, mocked, shamed, or stonewalled, your nervous system learned it is safer to keep quiet and to be agreeable than to be myself. And there's parentification, being required to meet an adult's emotional needs as a child. You become the peacemaker, the fixer, the therapist, the emotional support animal, if you will, for people who lack their own regulation capacity, their own capacity to regulate, right? And for many neurodivergent women, autism, ADHD, people pleasing can overlap as masking, because masking is a form of fawning specific to social survival. Hiding autistic traits, make sure you don't stim in public or in that group. Sensory aversions, like you're just going to try to put your blinders on and not let him know that you're overwhelmed. And let's not info dump on any topic. Just keep quiet, shake your head, and be pleasant. You do all that to avoid bullying or exclusion. Another form of fawning is overcompensating for ADHD challenges by becoming hyper helpful, organized for others, or self-deprecating to minimize the criticism. You're going to point out your flaws. You're going to live by, oh, it's my ADHD, or, oh, I did this, or I did that. Oh, that's just me. No, stop all that. Be you without the mask, without the explanation, without the excuse. Hyper help yourself if you're going to hyper help. Organize for you if you're going to organize. Let other people take care of themselves. Simple, not easy. We're in the middle of talking about people pleasing, but I had to go on a tangent. And then you can merge socially to avoid being othered, adopting the preferences, the mannerisms, or opinions of your peers just to belong. Over time, masking becomes an automatic pattern. And because it is driven by fear of rejection or exclusion, it reinforces the nervous system's belief that your authentic self is unsafe and are unworthy. But people-pleasing is not just emotional. It is deeply somatic, wired into your body as a pathway to safety. Your chest tightens if you consider saying no. Your stomach flips when asked your opinion in a group. Your voice gets quiet or higher pitched when asserting yourself. Your shoulders tense in social settings, ready to scan and appease. This isn't a choice you consciously make. It is your body's intelligent attempt to protect you, rooted in past lived experiences. So why does this matter? Because if you continue to see people-pleasing as a flaw, you will approach your healing with shame and force. But when you understand it as a nervous system adaptation, healing becomes about safety, compassion, and slow embodied change. Your people-pleasing is a map of where your body never felt safe to say no. So while childhood conditioning makes people-pleasing deeply ingrained, young adult and adulthood experiences can both intensify existing patterns or create new people-pleasing adaptations, especially in traumatic, oppressive, or disempowering contexts. The cost of people-pleasing is so fucking heavy, my dear. Heavier than we often realize because it becomes so ingrained it feels invisible, like air we breathe that's polluted but normalized. I mean, there are emotional and psychological impacts of people-pleasing. Number one, chronic exhaustion from overextending yourself. You wake up tired because your body never truly rests. Your mind is busy calculating other people's needs before your feet even touch the freaking ground. You have resentment towards those you keep saying yes to. Underneath your compliance grows silent anger. Why can't they see that I'm drowning? But people can't read truths you never speak. They're going to use and use and use and take and take and take if you don't set a boundary, if you don't say no. Anxiety and dread about letting people down. Oh man, just that alone, the anxiety and dread you feel. Even small decisions, declining a coffee invite, asking for clarification, sending back incorrect food. This all triggers disproportionate fear and guilt. How about feeling disconnected from your own preferences, desires, or identity? When you spend years prioritizing other people's needs, your own wants become blurred. You struggle to name your favorite food, struggle to rest or name a rest day, struggle to create authentic goals because your life has been lived as a reflection of everyone else's expectations. Yuck, yuck, yuck. No, no, no. No more, I say. Stamping my foot on the ground, banging my hands on the desk, waving up flags of all colors. This is a red flag for you. Live for you. And how about feeling unseen or unfulfilled in relationships, especially if you're a people pleaser? People love the version of you that never says no, that never has needs, that never sets boundaries. But they don't truly know you because you've never let them. That creates a deep loneliness even when surrounded by people. And here's the thing, I'm going to give you an honest truth. When you start healing this people-pleasing trauma response, when you begin to stop fawning and falling all over people and being the Johnny on the spot for every fucking person in the world, you will see who truly loves you. You will see who's truly meant to be in your life, because people will drop like flies. They will not like it if they cannot use you to get their way. That is not a sign you're doing something wrong. That is a big hell yeah, girl. You are weeding out the soul suckers. You are weeding out the energy vampires that are only hanging out to get from you, not to give. This is a claiming of you. This is a claiming of your life and your power when you stop people pleasing. It might feel lonely at first, but damn it, it opens up space for real, genuine love for yourself and real, genuine connections with others. Your body, right? Your body carries the weight of people pleasing in silent, chronic ways. We talked about that tight chest. What about the tight throat when asked for something? Your body tenses, your breath shortens, heart rate quickens. This is your nervous system alarm bell saying, this isn't safe for me. Taking a sip, take a breath. It's been a lot. You're beautiful as you are. This is all about awareness. What about digestive issues? Your gut brain holds fear of rejection or punishment rooted in earlier experiences where it didn't feel safe. And your gut brain communicates with your brain. And when they're talking and they're not doing well, shit's not going to go well. Difficulty relaxing or resting because hypervigilant feels safer. This is one of the things that really is hard to do when you are healing. When you are regulating your nervous system and letting it know that rest is safe, rest is good, it can feel uncomfortable. Start with baby steps, 5 minutes silence, staring into the abyss, 5 minutes of watching a candle burn, an incense burn, sit outside and watch the trees, the wildlife. Just be. And then you can just have somatic pain and tension, right? Chronic headaches, migraines, clenched jaws, neck pain. Mention the digestive issues, right? It's often accompanying long-term people-pleasing and self-abandonment. And with this people-pleasing and this chronic people-pleasing, you lose a connection with your authentic self. It creates relationships based on who others want you to be, not who you truly are. And this makes closeness feel almost impossible and fuels an underlying grief of never being fully known. Creates the atmosphere of just a loneliness despite being surrounded by people. It can lead to career burnout. At work, people-pleasing leads to being overutilized and under-recognized. You become the reliable one who takes on others' slack, but promotions, raises, and recognition bypass you because your overfunctioning is expected, not celebrated. Fuck that. Stick to your work description. And then you get the emotional burnout, right? Constantly assessing others' moods, needs, and expectations is so draining. That takes so many mental spoons. That leaves you little left for your inner life goals, your inner life, your inner world, and your creative dreams. You have a purpose beyond people pleasing. You have a purpose beyond fitting in and being liked by everybody. Long-term people-pleasing keeps you living in perpetual survival mode. Your nervous system never roots into safety, rest, or truth. You will remain hyper-vigilant, always scanning for how to stay agreeable, liked, needed, or just not to take up too much space, not to be too much. And here's the deepest cost. With all this, you will never get to fully live your life if you continue it this way. Your days will continue to be built around everyone else's desires, leaving you and your soul and your dream malnourished. Healing isn't about learning to say no to be rebellious or edgy. It's about reclaiming your life. It's about claiming your life for possibly the first time in your life. Claiming your body and your time from the grip of survival strategies that no longer are serving you. You are always allowed to take up space. You are always allowed to have needs. And you are always allowed to live a life rooted in your truth rather than everyone else's expectations. People-pleasing is not a character flaw. It is an adaptive survival strategy. It is a nervous system response learned in environments where your needs were ignored, punished, or made you feel unsafe. I want you to remember this. You are not here to be agreeable at the cost of your soul. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors that open to relationships rooted in truth. Every small no is a seed planted in the soil of self-trust. And I want to keep this real with you today because healing people-pleasing isn't just about learning to say no or checking in with your body. That's surface level if we don't go deeper. Here's what I want you to know. You don't have to heal people-pleasing to deserve rest or joy. You don't have to master boundaries to start living your life. You don't have to become perfectly assertive to deserve love. You don't have to rewire every childhood belief before you can finally take that damn nap. Healing doesn't have to be this huge project. Sometimes healing looks like saying yes to yourself, even while you're still scared to say no to others. You are not weak for fawning. You're tired. So let's reframe this. You aren't too nice. You're tired. You aren't indecisive. You're scanning for safety. You aren't weak. You're someone who learns survival over self-expression. That's not a flaw. That's brilliance born from necessity. And you don't have to shame yourself for it at all, ever, anymore. None. Done. You won't lose yourself by choosing yourself. There's a deep fear under people-pleasing that's like, if I choose myself, I'm going to be selfish, I'm going to lose myself, I'm going to be wrapped up in myself. It's just going to be disgusting. But here's the truth. If someone only stays because you abandon yourself, you were already alone in that relationship, my dear. Let's not be foolish. Let's not fool ourselves into believing there's something there when there's not. Choosing yourself doesn't destroy connection. It clarifies who's meant to stay. Some or a lot may not stay, but that's okay. The ones that love you, support you, are not just energy vampires. Will pivot, will respect your boundaries, will want to know more. And you can start small or not at all. If you're too tired today to practice saying no, that's fucking okay. If you're too overwhelmed to do a fucking affirmation, that's fucking okay. Here's your permission slip to just notice. Notice when you're about to say yes out of fear. Notice when your body tightens in a conversation. Notice when your thoughts spiral into, I hope they aren't mad at me, or I hope I didn't say the wrong thing, or I hope that was okay. Noticing is enough. Awareness is a powerful, powerful beginning. I am on the rooftops telling you this. G.I. Joe had it right. Knowing is half the battle. Once you know, once you're aware, seeds are planted. You can pivot. You can plan. You can goal it out. You can action step your way through it because awareness is the beginning, is the best part. And please, Remember your why. Why do you want to heal from people pleasing? It's not to become some boundary queen. It's not to appear stronger. Healing from people pleasing is because you want to live your life on your terms. You want to experience love rooted in your truth. You want to rest without guilt. You want to wake up each morning knowing you belong to yourself. The day, the time is yours. You are the master in control. That's the why. Healing people pleasing is about freedom. If you take nothing else from today, I hope you know that your worth was and is never meant to be proven through what you give. It is meant to be embodied through who you are every single day, no matter how you look, no matter what you're going through, no matter what mood you're experiencing. You are enough right now, even if you still say yes when you mean no. Here's some thought prompts for you, my dears. When did I first learn to please others over myself? Take it back. Where do I feel people pleasing in my body right now? Where is it showing up? And what is one small no I can practice this week? Just micro choice, just a teeny one, a tiny one, a tiny one. It's like sitting in your car before going to pick up the kids, sitting in your car before going inside, taking a 5-10 minute break inside your bathroom. I saw the recent statistic, I'm talking to you moms and caregivers, that you get like 15 minutes a day to yourself. Okay, use it. Cry, scream, sing, dance, talk to yourself, love yourself, do something nice for yourself. Be good to you. Healing people pleasing isn't about learning to be rude or harsh. It's about learning to be real. It's about recognizing that your yes is only sacred when it's true. You are not broken for saying yes when you meant no. You're surviving. Now let's learn to live. If you're craving more support and want some action steps, head to last week's part 1 episode titled Tired of People Pleasing, Claim the Peace You Deserve. There's some action steps, doables in there. Today's more about just acknowledging it, just being aware of it, not adding more on your to-do list, but just witnessing where you are fawning. And if you want more healing for your healing journey, head to my link tree. It's all there. I offer private sessions for therapy if you're in Texas and life coaching if you're outside the state or abroad. Whether you're healing from trauma, navigating a big life shift, or ready to just come home to yourself. It is my honor. It is my blessing. It is just my utmost gratitude, grateful heart's job to hold space for women just like you every single day of the week. Go to the link tree, fill out a consultation request via the little section that says 15-minute consultation. Let's have a free 15-minute chat to see if we're a good fit. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, and there is a badass playlist for you women titled Divine Woman on Spotify. All right, my dear, I just want you to know that I've said a lot, and you're never too much, you're never too late, and you're never too far gone. And you don't have to figure it all out alone. Until next time, take care of your precious self. Acknowledge and honor the fact that your no is holy, that your yes is a gift, and may both of those come from your truth. May you be happy and free. May mine and your healing ripple outwards to bless the world with happiness and freedom. Take care of you. I'll see you soon.